All right, it's 12 hours until the release, right? The campaign's about to drop, new league, new class just got dropped. There's this new patch, this new video for all this stuff. Don't record with that on screen? Hell no, it's leaving it. I'm leaving it all in. Jedi, what's up, dude? Welcome in. Yep. So like all this new stuff, right? They did this Druid showcase. They actually showed some nodes that are super important. Super important, right? Commanding Rage. This node right here, every rage also grants you 1% increased minion attack speed and minion damage, right? It's important to note that it's attack speed, not cast speed. So this is crazy. This node is over here, down here, right here. This node is 9 points away from this socket. That's right here. So you could easily have that node and commanding rage by the time you're in Act 4. Right, so I don't know when all this is going to take off. Definitely by interludes, you'll have enough points to get all this stuff. And it synergizes well with this, Primal Hunger. Right, 100% more maximum rage, all this stuff. It says no rage effect. I'm taking this as the effect of rage is removed. And what that is this. So no effect of rage. You're not going to get this. 1% more attack damage, all this stuff. So that is what is going to be disabled. Right, as far as I'm taking it, and you'll still be able to have commanding rage, right? Because as your rage gains stacks, it blesses you and grants you with more attack speed and damage. Now, if that's the case, and you're taking a shaman or you're playing a shaman and you get Furious Wellspring, right? It has generate 6% of your maximum rage, and it also has this mana regeneration and stuff like that. No good deed, Jesus Christ. Okay, anyway, mana regeneration rate also applies to rage regeneration rate, right? So you'll be generating rage passively, and it'll build you stacks for commanding rage. Why that's important is because if you're playing a shaman, just based off the passive tree, it's 45 max rage. So with this Primal Hunger, that's 90. That's 90% attack speed by itself. That's it, without anything, right? Just passively gaining. It seems broken because it is broken, but it's fun as hell. And with what Mark says and what Jonathan says, and like, how does this work? Does this work that way? If it's the fun way, that's the way it should work, right? So this is the fun way. This should work. This should stack with that. So I'm assuming that that's how that's going to work, right? And what that's going to do is all these minions, the Sniper, S tier. The Brute, S tier. Raging Spirits, S tier. Skeletal Reaver, A, because their mapping is garbage, right? But bossing is fine. So there's a lot of implications for that. And you can have these two nodes pretty quick. You know, and then there's also this Pounce. And this is great. This is almost like Sigil of Power. It's very similar to like a Sigil of Power, but for like a more wider variety of minions, because it works for everything. It just has, the target just has to be surrounded with up to 10 minions, you know, and it grants up to 40% increased damage before Pain Offering bonuses. And Pain Offering is also applying attack speed, right? Attack speed, attack damage. So that's all of it, with my mouse moving super fast in a circle. All of it's going to stack, right? So there's a lot of things. The good thing about it is a lot of things will work. There's going to be a lot of different minion combinations. If you want to use Arsonist, you know, these guys will work. All that stuff will work, which is really good. Even Unearthed. Unearthed is about to get bricked up, right? So all this stuff is good. This guy right here, Lord of the Wilds. This is the kind of thing you'll kind of have to like use on a weapon swap, but you know, it's fine. You could work around it. So that's the biggest things with the shaman, right? If you look at this passive tree too, for the Oracle has the chance to be probably the highest burst damage. It's a little strange, that whole Visage thing has to be primed for stun, makes a copy of a ghost, and then you have to hit both. And the thing is, you have to hit both of them, so you're going to need AoE. So the best choice for that is probably going to be the Zealots again, right? Imagine Zealots are hitting 2 copies, double damage with Zealots who are already crazy. You know what I mean? But then realistically, when are you ever going to have the 6-man solo Uber Arbiter, right? But with that said, I mean, there's a potential for a lot of damage if you have AoE and you're capable of hitting the original monster and the Visage using the Oracle. And we don't know a lot of things too, so this is the unseen path. You can't really tell from here, but this is also minion nodes, right? So the pathing with the Druid is kind of garbage. If you're playing minions, you're probably going to want to, you know, do wolf stuff first, You can play minions without the starter minion nodes. It's not that bad if you know what you're doing. But if you're a new player, it could feel like pretty weak. And then the other thing that they dropped, I know I'm missing some stuff, but I want to kind of touch on most things, is this, right? This is another summoner, but it's per the Sorceress. And the thing with this, it comes with a lot of good utility. So if you look at fourth teaching, you know, this got shown to me by one of the guys in the chat. It's minus 1% base energy recharge delay, which is huge. Stock is 4 seconds and it goes down to 3. And then in combination with your other things like your sacramental robe chest piece, your focus with socketed, faster start recharge, you know, the suffix modifier for faster start to recharge, it's really easy to get sub 1 second with only 3 points allocated on the passive tree. Just sub 1 second energy shield recharge. And on my character, it's really easy to get 15k energy shield. And if you have sub 1 second, that's insane, right? 40% more energy shield recharge rate at low energy shield. And if you look at right down here, sacred rituals, 60% of your current energy shield added as armor for determining your physical damage reduction from armor. So pretty good, right, for physical damage reduction. So beefy girl. As far as the summons that they come with, the biggest one for me is this one. At least just for minion purposes, right? Because of this, inflicts critical weakness on hit. Now I don't know all the details. Haven't had the time to really look into all of it, you know. But if this gives 10 stacks and those stacks happen almost immediately, that's really good, right? So base crit chance of your skeletal reaver, for instance, is 5%. If critical, the way critical weakness works is it adds a certain amount to that base crit. So if it's 10 stacks, it adds 10 base crit. So instead of 5% of crit chance, it's now 15 for your skeletal reaver. Why that's important is because if you look at the passive tree and you get in here, right, get out of here, move back, okay, and you take these points for critical hit chance that are over here, this 40% plus these 3, that turns that 15 to 30% crit chance. That's a lot. That's a lot for a skeletal reaver that has 300% attack speed, right? 300% attack speed on the skeletal reaver. So why is it 300% attack speed? Because now with the buffs, the skeletal reaver with rage applying and giving, I think it's a 6% attack speed per 1 stack of rage. It's something like that. At 30 stacks of rage, these guys have 90% attack speed, right? So that's 90% attack speed with full rage on them, using the enrage ability or, you know, using Berserker's Rage passive tree. And then you stack this commanding rage for another 90. So that's another 90, that's like 180 already. And then you throw in Pain Offering, which is another like whatever it is, 50 or 60, already pushing 250 attack speed. Put in quality, that's, you know, closer to 300% attack speed. And then if it has critical weakness, that's like 30% chance of critical weakness without using sapphires. That's a lot of damage. So I know this like league, the crafting is whack. There's no homogenizing omens, but with how this is working and the things that they're changing, if it works the way it works, a lot of things are going to work. So it's pretty fun. You know, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff, but I'm planning on using a druid. We're going to start with that. And then we're going to go from there. So yeah, that's all I got. See you guys in 10 hours. Peace out. Catch you on the next one. Bye.